Hello, my divine kings and queens. I'm back to do another video. And today's message, what we're going to be covering is God says pride come before the fall. Pride comes before the fall. And that is regarding a lot of the situations and spirits and people that you encountered had so much pride and ego when it came to how they handled you, how they talked about you, how they treated you, right? What they thought about you, and how they detailed it to others. The reason why pride come before the fall is a lot of people had ample enough time to bring you clarity in the situation so that it may free you, so that you would understand what was going on and why it was happening. And you could have freed yourself a whole lot sooner than when it happened, right? By the time a lot of you guys woke up to the devils that you were surrounded around, they had already came this close to destroying you and killing you. Because everything that they were doing, they was cloaking it and hiding it. And no one wanted to come and tell you anything. And see, this is the thing. People felt like because you had no family, you had no friends, that you were a nobody. They thought they wasn't going to get no pushback, no flack. They thought if they crushed you and you popped, that it wouldn't come back on them, that nothing would happen, that no one would know to be able to trace it back to them, right? That they just felt like because you were a nobody that no one was going to care, that everyone was just going to look at you a certain way, judge you, laugh at you, but no one was going to really care enough to do anything about it. But the God you serve, he say what people felt like you didn't have in the physical, you made up for it in the spiritual, because you always have people walking with you. But see, people get it misconstrued when they don't see no one physically walking with you, physically talking and sticking up for you, so they think that they could just do you any kind of way. But God said pride come before the fall. All that pride and ego did was leave people in a rut that they can't even get up out of. All they was doing was digging that ditch for them to fall right up in. And when it came time, they had their head so high, they couldn't even see where they were going. Had their head so high, just high and mighty, just walking like, ooh, if I get away with this, what else can I get away with? Okay. Shoot, I mean, ain't nobody saying nothing. All that stuff I did, guess nobody know. I guess ain't nobody trying to seek the truth. I guess nobody really cared for him. That's sad. Or hey, at least it didn't come back on me. Had their head so high, they couldn't see where they were going. And that hole, they was about to fall up in that hole in that ditch that they digged for you. And the same way how people didn't want to tell you nothing, God didn't give them no forewarning about what was going to happen and what the end result was going to be from all that foolishness and the consequences that followed thereafter for their stupidity and ignorance and being foul. He let them walk right up in it and fall right up in that ditch, because pride come before the fall. There are a lot of people who looked at you as less than, the scum beneath their feet. But God took all your enemies and made them your footstool at the end of the day. And they ain't got no choice but to accept it. And for those who can't accept it, they got to respect it. It's like they were holding on to you like you was their lifeline, but didn't know how to treat you right. And the second that you wanted to free yourself because you had no choice, it's like, how dare you try to walk away You supposed to, it's like people wanted to throw you away, discard you, and pick you back up as they deem fit, as it benefits them, right? So they'll pick you up and say, ooh, can you make me feel handsome today? Can you make me feel pretty today? Then you do it, and then they boom, throw you away like you ain't nothing. They'll pick you back up again. Hey, can you be a friend to me today? I really don't have no friends, because I'm really two-faced and I'm really sneaky and I'm really a liar, but you the only person who deal with my foolishness and still be my friend. Can you be my friend today? Then you stay being a friend, and then you keep being betrayed. And then you keep being discarded. You keep being talked about behind your back. People was picking you up, getting what they wanted out of you, and then throwing you away. And then had the audacity, after they threw you, went to go find you again, pick you up again, just to get you back again, just knowing that they weren't right. And every time they got away with it, it built up their ego. Catered to their ego. People was catering to their foolishness. That's why their pride was so up here until they fell down that ditch. And God looked over and said, it ain't so funny no more, is it? Now that you ain't looking down at somebody, you got to look up at how I'm about to bless them now. And you're going to stay right there and you're going to watch it. Because what you did, it was wrong. And you had ample enough time, even if you didn't want to come and tell nobody, you could have told it to me. You could have repented and asked me for forgiveness for what you did to the person. But you were so caught up. You didn't even want to do that. Now you sit there and you watch how I'm about to bless them. You sit there and you watch the very same person that you threw dirt on. Watch how I clean them up. You sit and you watch the very same person that you wanted other people to look at as less than and beneath you and scum and all this type of stuff. Look at how people look at them now. You're going to sit there and you're going to watch it and you're going to take it. And I dare you to speak a word. God ain't playing with these people, man. He said pride come before the fall. They kept walking. As they kept walking, they kept doing stuff. And let me tell you something. No one wanted to come. Everybody and their mama could come and ring. Oh, so-and-so doing this, so-and-so, da-da-da-da, so-and-so, oh. But no one could ring your line and ring your phone to let you know the plots and the plans that people were scheming and cooking up behind your back. Nobody could ring your phone and let you know the gossip that was going on that included your name. Nobody could let you know all the stuff that was going on that people had a part in behind your back. These people didn't do this alone. Cleaning up their tracks that good to where it had you in illusions, had you in confusions. They had helpers. And these helpers, because they saw how people was willing to jump on and help them go against you, it catered to that ego. Like they could just get away with murder. God put these people in a special ditch just by themselves. They ain't going to be there. Them very same people who are up are going to be up in a ditch too, but in a different ditch. They're not going to be up in the same ditch as the ringleader. That ringleader going to sit there and sit there and eat that for a minute. Sit there and watch that. Because their pride, their head was so up here. They couldn't see where they was going. Like, you about to walk up in a ditch. You about to fall. Ain't no telling what's going to happen and how far and how deep it go. The injuries and the bruises that you can that you're going to have. No one was telling this person that. The same way that no one told you what was going on behind your back. God didn't give these people no forewarning. Let me tell you something. Stop sitting up here and thinking that God is just, yes, he is a forgiving person. But let me tell you something. When you see that people did this with malice in their heart, with ill intent. And let me tell you something. Had it worked and had it went through the way that they wanted it to go through, a lot of y'all wouldn't have been here. That's the thing. And that's what got him upset. That's what got him upset. I need you to understand this and act like you know like what I'm saying. It's because I don't come on here with that faith. God do forgive people, but then he avenges those of whom went through so much at the hands of treacherous and evil people, and he deals with them people. Not because he wants to dish it out that way, but because the way that they dished it out, they did it without any remorse, without any thought or care as to what it would do to you. So now you gotta say, okay, a lesson can be learned in this. I'm gonna dish it back to you, not because I am a vengeful God, but because there's a lesson to be learned in this, that you don't go around and do this to people. You treat people as you want to be treated. You don't like being treated this way, and you don't like what's being dealt to you. You shouldn't have tried to dish it out and dished it out to someone else who was undeserving of it. This is what I'm saying. Pride come before the fall. Pride come before the fall. Pride come before the fall. A lot of people who was part of that, who act like they didn't know what they was doing, act like they didn't know you, act like they didn't know what the end result was going to be. They was just part of it for a good time, not a long time. Let me tell you something. Like, you was people's entertainment till God blowed up their TVs and destroyed and cracked their phones. Now what you going to watch it on? Where's the entertainment when you can't see it and you can't hear it? There ain't no entertainment. My people not about to be your entertainment, to be used like puppets on the string. Which was about to happen though, for all that pride and that ego that you had, all them little helpers that you had, ain't nobody gonna tell you you about to walk into something blind. You about to walk into something without having and knowing what the outcome gonna be, right? Because people felt like they just know everything. They just knew everything. Till sometimes God got to show people up and let them know, no, you don't know everything. Do you? Because had you known everything, you could have avoided this, right? What's puzzling to me and what's mind-boggling to me, it baffles me as to how someone can go and plot and trick and scheme on someone else, but then act dumbfounded when they go through the very same thing because they had to experience that at the hands of someone else. Let me tell you something. God, the way it worked, I keep trying to tell you, you treat people as you want to be treated. You will encounter someone who got the same characteristics as you times 10. And what you thought you got away with, God got a funny way of showing you ain't get away with nothing, partner. This just took time. Took time because that person was on a different path I had to go. Now I could place them on your path now. And now it's just your time to learn that lesson. It ain't that you got away with it. That lesson was just delayed. That's all it was. Took time for me to come up with the curriculum, with the requirements, with the prerequisites. Took time for me, all that. And prerequisites was them people, how you had to encounter them, all this type of stuff, and then the reaction and the outcome that you got out of that, right? Now you going through the lesson. Now you going through the main lesson. And pride come before the fall. People could have gave you clarity. Someone could have told you what was going on because everyone knew. Whatever situation you was in how you was being dealt and how you was being treated, the cards that you was dealt, everyone knew what cards you was going to be dealt with before they was dealt to you. Everyone knew. And everyone sat back and thought you was their entertainment. Something that they could be, something that they could laugh at, that they could mock, that they could judge. Either to feel good about themselves or because they just wasn't right in their head and in their soul. But pride come before the fall. Blew up them TVs and destroyed them phones. Ain't nobody about to watch you go through that. Ain't nobody about to watch you in that predicament and in that state of mind. But what these people about to do and what has already happened, they done fell in the very same ditches that they dug for you. And instead of now looking down at you, they're going to be looking up at you. Up at how God blessing you. Up at you achieve everything that they said that you would and that they felt like you was undeserving of. They about to see you in a whole different light. And a lot of people are going to be in regret for the rest of their life because they're going to sit there and know that you wasn't deserving of what they did. A lot of people who tried to hide things and try to cloak it about what they was doing and what they reasoning behind what they was doing, just trying to do stuff so no one would look at them a certain way, but wanted everyone to look at you a certain type of way. You get me what I'm saying? No one was trying to provide clarity. It's like everyone wanted to see you in that situation, that was spiritual warfare that you was going through. It ain't nothing that you keep asking yourself, what did I do to deserve this? What did I do to deserve this? You was just chosen, and you was picked for this, and you was made for this, and you was born for this. And that's why you overcame. That's why you overcame all of it. You went through it, but you overcame it. because everything went the way that God needed it to go. And now these people are in a situation that they're going to very well be in for a while, looking and analyzing and reevaluating and reassessing the situation, the actions that they took against you. And they're going to have to see themselves for who they truly are. And pray for them that they get through it. Pray that they are able to forgive themselves. Because I tell you, a part of healing is being able to forgive the other person and forgiving yourself for either doing it or dishing things out to others, right? It's like God had to get you away and let you know that these people who you encounter, everyone in the world is not like that. All I got to do is get you away and get you to a whole nother area where people will actually give you a chance, because ain't nobody going off of past hurts, past actions. This is what it means to have a clean slate. This is what it means to have a fresh new start. A new beginning, a new perspective on life. If you let God work it how he need to work it, he'll show you why things had to go the way that it went and why he set it up that way. But for the majority of you who are watching and who stumble across this video, you already know, because you came out of it. And when you look back on everything that you went through, you realize God had his hand in it. The truth was hidden from you because these devils had help. Because they were some devils too. You were surrounded around devils. Because I don't know anyone in their right mind, no matter what a person feel like you did or you said to them, that they holding grudges against you. Like, holding grudges against you, why? Because you became successful. Holding grudges against you, why? Because you now, the type of success and blessings and life that you have currently is going against everything that they once said about you, going against everything of what they said you wouldn't have. So now they being exposed and people looking at them like, what's wrong with you? What did this person do to you? It ain't what the person did. It ain't what you did. It's them devils that was attached to them that they allowed to ride them and do things that they knew wasn't right. But pride come before the fall. These people didn't know how to stop on their own. They didn't know how to repent, how to ask for forgiveness on their own. So now they're going to be forced in a situation where they ain't going to have no choice, because the only way to come out of it is once they do it. Once they accept what they have done. So many people kept trying to run away from the truth, after they had dished it out, right? They kept trying to run because they know it was so foul and nasty, and they know how loving and nice you were to them. But you see how God worked? He didn't even tell them that where they was running to. They was running right into a ditch. They kept running. He didn't even tell them, like, you about to run up in that same ditch you dug for my daughter. You about to run up in that same ditch that you dug for my son. But I ain't gonna say nothing. No one warned my children before they fell up in a ditch, and I had to be the one to get them out. You about to fall up in that ditch, you gonna be there for a minute. And the only way you're going to get out is once you come to grips with what you've done. People didn't want to come to grips with it. And don't ask me why someone could be that nasty and that foul, but then don't want to reassess and go over it and deal with why they had did that. They can't take it. They up at night. They can't sleep. They crying, asking, why did I do that? Where it's going to lead them to is they know they're going to have to get some help somewhere. They know that they're going to have to get some therapy somewhere before it's all said and done. Ain't going to be no ifs, ands, or buts about it. God ain't asking these people, can you heal? He making them heal. And putting them in a situation where the only way that they're going to be able to come out of whatever they're in is once they heal. Because they did all this stuff because they weren't. They did all this stuff because they were running away from something that they needed to face in order to transform. People wanted to stay the same. Like I said, holding on to you, feeling like, oh, I got a good setup here. I could keep going in and doing this, and I could keep holding on to so-and-so as a friend. I could keep doing what I want to do and talking behind their back, but I'm going to keep playing like I'm their friend. I'm going to keep doing this, but I'm going to keep acting like I love them. I'm going to keep doing this and doing this because they my family. God is setting a lot of people down because what you went through it because the truth was hidden. Had the truth been revealed to you, y'all could have freed yourself a long time ago before it got to where it got to. But never mind that, because God redeemed you and he restored you and he saved you and he healed you. But because that man had to do all these things and realizing the people that dealt it to you and dished it out to you, they had no remorse. They weren't getting down on their knees, just not saying that they had to give you an apology, but just getting down on their knees and praying and asking God, forgive me, have mercy on my soul. Forgive me for the things I know not what I do. Forgive me. They weren't trying to pray. They weren't trying to ask for forgiveness. I keep trying to tell you. They really, they felt, if I crush this person, if I crush their insides, don't you know the type of evil that a person got to have up in them that want to crush you? And they did just that. That's the saying. That you can't take back that action. You did the action. You crushed. Because you said in your mind, I'm going to get away with it. It's not going to be traced back to me. Don't nobody like them anyway. They ain't got no friends anyway. They ain't got no family anyway. If I do it, ain't nobody going to come and get on me about it. I had helpers. So clearly the people who helped me didn't like them either. They had a whole slew of people who ain't like them. But if you were to go and ask these people why they didn't like you, nobody could say nothing. This is what I'm saying. This is how I'm telling you, it was in spiritual warfare. So like I said, the reason why they being dealt that is because God say, you had no remorse in your heart. I searched your heart and your soul. But you asking me and you saying for you knew not what you was doing, but you knew what you was doing and you had no remorse in your soul. I searched your soul when you carried out those actions. It took time. That's why you thought you got away, because I wanted to see what you was going to do after you did it. And you did nothing. You did nothing. You heard how this person was being talked about by things of which you initiated, because you put their name in things that you should never put their name in. You tied them to situations and people that you should have never tied them to because you know it was a lie. All to save yourself. Also, people wouldn't look at you, but you had no problem sacrificing this person. And you're going to get it in a way that you never even dreamed or imagined, because I saw how this person took it. And I saw how this person not one time wished for your downfall, but was crying and pleading to me to just save them and get them out. A lot of y'all, when you realize what you had done, you ask God to forgive you for allowing this treatment to be done to you, right? And you didn't sit up here and pray, God, I want this person and that. I don't want this. You know why God is taking it to a whole nother level with these people? Because he saw how you handled it. And my God, you didn't deserve it. I'm telling you, if I'm right, go ahead and tell me in the comments. Y'all, when all this stuff was happening, you got down on your knees and you said, God, I don't wish on nobody's downfall. I forgive them. But most importantly, I asked you give me the strength to forgive myself, because I took it. And you kept just pleading. It was so bad. You just like, God, just get me out. Please. Please just get me out. Please. I don't care about nobody. I don't care who was involved. I don't care. Just please get me out. Get me away. I want to be happy again. I want to be stable again. I want to be loved again. And God went on ahead and looked at how these people handled it and was laughing. See, they was walking off and running and running and running, and they was laughing. They was laughing. They was judging. They was happy. They felt good about themselves. They felt like they was on their high horse and galloped and ran right up into the same ditch that they dug for you. And God left them there. He didn't tell them, he didn't give them no forewarning. Because right before they got to that ditch, you know what could have saved them? A prayer could have saved them. Asking for forgiveness could have saved them. Telling the truth could have saved them. Giving you an apology could have saved them. But pride come before the fall. And he went, and after he let him fall right up in that ditch, he went on ahead and went back to you. to give you what you wanted and what you pleaded and begged him for. See, it was lessons in this. You get what I'm saying? Why I keep trying to tell y'all how God make this thing work? It's not saying like I said, God would have even saved the enemies who went up against you had they got their pride and ego out the way and apologized and came to grips to terms with what they had done. And he would have blessed you, but it could have went it could have went totally different too. Had you handled the situation different, had you prayed for revenge, had you plotted for revenge. But you didn't. Because God said, vengeance is mine. And that's why he came to help you. And he came to save you. And instead of these people looking down at you, they're going to be looking up at you. Because pride comes before the fall. These people are I'm telling you, in deep regret. They will never say that they're suffering in silence. You know why? Because they know that you deserve better. They know that you deserve at least one person to fight for you. A lot of people saw through the illusions and through the smoke screens. Like no one really knew you to even be hating you on that level like that. Certain people saw you for who you truly were. You're around devils that influenced other people to look at you differently. You're around devils that wanted to even assume your personality, your identity. So they lied on you. Lied on you, and then was lying about themselves and who they truly were, hiding that, but lying on you too. You're around devils. You was around devils who couldn't accept you for who you were, couldn't love you for who you were, couldn't be your friend for who you were, couldn't be real like you were being to them, couldn't be loving like you was being to them, couldn't be forgiving and loyal like you was being to them, couldn't be committed and respectable and honorable like you was being to them. And now they feeling it. Because now they see that you was a 1 in a million. 1 in a million. There was around a million and trillion billion devils that they put before you and wanted to be part of that till it wasn't funny no more. And them devils, once you got out the picture, started attacking them. You was gone. You the light. You was the light in the darkness. That's why these devils was attracted to you, trying to destroy you and get rid of that light, because that light irritated them. The worst thing that these people could have done was go up against you. When they could have gotten away with you, they chose to work with these devils to destroy you. And now it's them same demons that's riding their back in that same pitch that they fell up in and galloped into because they thought they was running off to something after they had crushed you. Don't you understand that they crushed you, you dead? Like, you know what I got from this movie? It's called The Green Mile. I know y'all keep saying obituary every time you come, but I mean, it's true. The Green Mile. And you know, I was watching it the other day with Tom Hanks and Michael Duncan. I think that's his name. Now, you know, the heavyset guy he had spiritual gifts, right? And in that movie, Tom Hanks felt like the reason why he was living for so long was because he had condemned one of God's children, right? It was illuminated to Tom Hanks that Michael hadn't committed that crime, that heinous crime that they told him that they did with the 2 little girls. Because he showed him, he said, I'm about to show you what really happened and why I took action against the person who really did commit the crime, right? And there was another, I know y'all gonna remember him. I remember him as Mr. Noodle. When I used to watch Sesame Street, he was Mr. Noodle. That's how I remember him. That's the only thing I remember him from. But if y'all watch the movie, you're gonna understand where I'm coming from with that. So, I don't know who he was supposed to be in the movie, but he gravitated and formulated a relationship with this mouse. The mouse was like his pet. Then you had the other correction officer who was just rotten, using his connections against everybody, you know, but really you could tell he weak. Didn't I say your enemy's weak and cowardly? But they used whatever they felt like they had over you, thinking that was going to keep you in line and keep you in your place. So, you know, he went around telling them that, like, using his connections, whatever. That's how he got that job. So nobody could really do anything or fire him or do anything to him. He was untouchable. So long story short, this person ended up, I think the mouse did something. Okay, so the guy who was friends close with the mouse laughed at him, at the correction officer, for peeing himself. He took it upon himself to catch that mouse and crush him. And he did kill him, right? But because Michael Duncan had special powers, he said, go ahead, it's still time, give me the mouse. And he brought that mouse back to life. And see, Tom messed with him, and he said, you ain't killed a mouse, go ahead and look. And he was like, I'm pretty sure. I heard the thing crunch. You know how evil a person got to be to know that they took you out, know that they put you in an uncompromising position, because it was like, I saw them, I saw how, I know they still there, they didn't move, they didn't go nowhere. Like he said, I heard it crunch, so I know I stepped on it and I crushed it with the intent to kill it, because I saw the blood. Let me tell you something, you around some devils, man. That's all I gotta say. Pride come before the fall. Like I said. And he was so shocked to see that that mouse was still running and moving around. Oh, my God. Thank you, God. See what I'm saying? Like, these people thought that they took you out because it was like, I heard it crunch. I heard them cry. I saw them with holes in they this and that. I saw them looking bad. I know I took them out. I know I left them in a bad predicament. I know what I was doing. See, they didn't expect for God to resurrect you and bring you back to life. They didn't expect for God to sit up here and right every wrong that people that people did to you. They didn't expect that. They didn't even expect to be up in the same ditch and hole that they dug for you. They thought you was going to be up in that hole. You was going to be looking at them being prosperous and living right. But no. Everyone knew what they was doing. When they was picking things up and going and reading stuff and talking and doing this and calling on 3 ways and 2 lines and driving by trying to catch you in certain places to see how you looking. Just so I'm trying to tell you, devils. An idle mind is the devil's playground. Either these people did not have no life, or they very well did not have a brain. But you never mind. That's neither here nor there. God is saying pride come before the fall. And these people are no longer going to be able to look down at you. They're going to be looking up at you, at all the good things and blessings that God is bringing your way. And until next time, I want y'all to stay prayed up and be blessed. I love y'all.